Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Kelley Kahn. I'm with the City of Oakland. I'm the lone government official on the panel, but great company. And I'm an urban planner, urban designer by training. My career has morphed over the years, and now I'm really charged with working on several key economic development initiatives for the City of Oakland. And what that means is really, I spend a lot of time thinking about how to grow the tax base in Oakland, bring investment to Oakland, so that we have more funding for basic services, longer library hours, park maintenance, programming at our rec centers for young people and the people who live in Oakland. And as an urban planner, I really want to do this kind of work always with the lens of how do we preserve what is so great about Oakland, and actually what drew me to this job. I'm a longtime Oakland resident, but I have been working in San Francisco for the last 8 years, and I've been now at the City of Oakland for about a year. And the reason I wanted to come here is probably the reason Vader wanted to come here, and a lot of people are coming, which is that there's something really special and unique happening in Oakland, and I want to explore it. As the first one up here, I just wanted to say how excited we are to have VatorSplash in Oakland, and acknowledge how much Vader has really embraced Oakland and celebrated Oakland, and it feels so good to sort of be seen, to have what we know is so terrific about Oakland be seen by the Vader organizers, so thank you. So I think I want to step back a little bit and just talk about what I think a lot of us already know. But this question of why Oakland? Why is Oakland sort of so ripe to grow a tech industry here? And I wanted to sort of make a point that in Oakland, the tech industry is definitely an emerging industry. It hasn't fully arrived yet, although I feel like in the last few weeks, things might be changing. And we do have a large number of tech companies here, Pandora, Sungevity, who I sort of throw in the mix, Ask.coms, and day by day we have a ton of new startups. But it's still, when you look at the numbers, it's only still about 2.5% of our workforce are jobs in tech. And that number is probably changing day by day, and it's hard to get a real grasp on, but that's a fairly small percent of our workforce. That's compared to about 8% in San Francisco, still small, but in real numbers, that's quite a lot more jobs in San Francisco in tech. But Oakland is ripe for growth in this sector. And I think a lot of us know the reasons, but one of the most interesting trends, or at least trends to me as an urban planner, is that we're seeing these real changes in the workforce, that today's workforce, the millennials, are urbanists, right? They are choosing cities. They're choosing cities because of the diversity of experiences, the diversity of people. They're choosing this sort of city life, the sense of discovery that comes with that, the richness and vibrancy on our streets over these slightly more sterile suburban landscapes where the tech industry has traditionally been housed in big industrial sort of campuses, seas of parking around them. It's a very different way and place to work than places like San Francisco and Oakland. And one of the reasons that I think this city life is such a draw and is so important to the tech industry in particular is that that kind of sort of creativity really breeds more innovation, and it allows for spontaneous interactions, exposure to new ideas, just maybe on your lunch hour or before work or after work. And this is exactly what Oakland offers, right? Art and vibrancy and authenticity. And what the other amazing thing about Oakland is that we have people doing creative work across disciplines, not just in tech, but the arts and in food and biotech, solar, public health. We have a huge nonprofit sector doing really creative work around poverty and youth and community financing. We have some of the preeminent thinkers about how you keep wealth local in an economy, about community IPOs. Kiva Zip has a presence here. And so much of the work is really driven by, I think, a sense of responsibility and community. And that's very Oakland, I think, very Oakland. Another trend that is quite interesting is that these workers want to live where they work, and they don't want to be auto-dependent, and they want to be places where they can bike and take transit and walk. And for the first time, we're seeing car ownership rates decrease among people ages 16 to 34. So that moment when I turned 16 and the very first thing I did was go to the DMV, that's changing. People are putting this off and off and off. And they're getting their, and they're sort of, I think, this real movement of rejecting these auto-dominated lifestyles. And this also has to do, I think, the social conscious and this sense of wanting to have a more sustainable lifestyle, and cities offer that. And this implication and what it adds up to for Oakland is that I think for the first time, companies are beginning to follow workers, so that the talent is starting to drive locational decisions, and workers are starting to choose quality places like Oakland. And then you layer on Oakland's financial accessibility, which we all talk about, that the commercial rents are half here what they are in San Francisco, and housing costs also almost half still. And this allows people who come to Oakland to take risks, to be innovative, to be creative, and still have a decent quality of life. And this is really important. Boy, I haven't even got to my vision yet. I'm so busy touting Oakland that. So anyway, so what does a sort of a diverse and inclusive ecosystem look like around tech in Oakland? And I think the story of Oakland tech